How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I literally just walked through the door, so I apologize that I'm all shiny.
No problem.
I'm running behind on my run.
Yeah,
Did you see that TikTok I sent you?
I haven't watched it yet. I saw the text come through.
Oh, it was a funnier one for realtors.
Oh, cool. Yep. I'm becoming a TikToker.
Hey,
Hey, good morning, Amy.
just got a text.
Yeah, I just saw the text.
So far, so good. He's in the crate, but
What's that?
I said the puppy's in the crate, so we'll see what happens. I apologize if it
That's
gets
okay.
distracting.
No worries.
You have a puppy?
Puppy sitting for my dad.
Oh,
He went down to Tijuana to get his teeth fixed.
oh, nice. That's smart though. It's so much cheaper.
It is. And why do I look blurry? Am I blurry?
Yeah,
Little.
okay.
Sorry, guys.
No
Dude, I'm
worries.
like really blurry.
It's all good. All good.
I
Well,
don't know how to fix it.
yeah. You guys want to just get going so we get this rolling, or should we wait a few minutes?
I mean, I can give everyone a minute.
Yeah, it's 9:01.
You want to see my my vision board?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see what it looks like.
I don't know how well you can see it.
Wow, that's
Looks
awesome.
Got a lot going on
good.
here.
Looks good. Crush your goals. I like it. Is that a Porsche Carrera?
You know, I just want a new car. So,
Yeah. The
I just
Porsche
put
is
that.
cool.
and then I put like the money. I found some money up top.
Nice.
So, where's
That's cool.
yours? Yvette?
I have a few more printed, but it's not done. It has too many blank spaces to show. The fitness, the house, that's part's all done. It's like the business side that needs to get done. Then it'll be done.
I'm just
Good.
curious. Why do you think I'm blurry? All of a sudden, it's never this blurry, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be the lighting, or it could be
Oh
the
wait, let me turn up the lighting then.
internet connection.
I mean, I guess we can get started if no one's coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know Dusty had said he had something that was already planned for today, so he apologized about that. Some golf thing that's more important than this, you know.
Is it his putting tournament?
Could be. I mean, it's all those guys, so it's a group of them. Yeah, no, we can jump into it. I don't know who's gonna hop on, so let's just get it going. Yeah, I'm still waking up. I had a late night. It was rough last night. So just baby crying a lot. She's getting weaned off. So fun times, you know.
Aww.
Yeah, let's if you guys are good with it, let's do the self-confidence formula. Just I need the wake up. So I'll lead it out, or we can all do
You
it
can lead
together.
it.
Yeah,
You can do it, Brandon. We need
there's-
you.
There's only 3 of us on here, so I don't think we have to mute ourselves. We'll see how it sounds. Okay, you guys ready? All right. First, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves.
I need you to pump
physical
yourself up
reality.
a little bit more, Brandon.
Okay.
Get with it.
All right. I will. Where are we at?
Second.
I'll just start over from the top. First,
All right.
I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action. Leslie likes it. So 1 sec, she's hopping on. I know she enjoys the self-confidence formula. Leslie.
Good morning.
All right. We waited for you to get cracking
Thank
on
you.
this. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action, gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of obtaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I'll never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I'll engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I'll succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I'll induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing a love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I'll believe in them and in myself. I'll sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I'll become a self-reliant and successful person. Hoorah!
Woohoo!
Was that
Brandon.
enough enthusiasm?
Yay.
That was much better.
Was that better for you?
I appreciate it.
All right, Yvette, you got the next one. All I'm saying, you better bring it next time.
I
Love
bring
it.
it every day.
Good morning, Anthony.
Anthony.
Good morning.
Oh,
Hey.
perfect timing. You missed the self-confidence formula.
Yeah,
Cut the end of it.
you can still drink the Kool-Aid though.
Love
All right. Well, anybody have anything exciting that's happened this last week that they want to share with the group? Not all at once now.
I went to the San Diego Zoo.
That's cool.
Nice. That place is awesome, right?
Yeah, man. You inspired me.
Especially with kiddos, man. It's I don't know. When I went there when I was a little bit younger, I didn't appreciate those things. You have kids, it's like amazing. It's like you're in a whole new world. And Emma's like, it was like we traveled the whole world. We went to all these places and
Oh,
saw all these
funny.
different animals. And you know, they got the Africa section and they got, it's just Australia. It's too cool. That's a
Yeah.
really nice zoo. Have you all been to the San Diego Zoo
Once,
Yes.
once? Yeah.
years
You bet-
ago.
You been there?
Yeah.
I haven't been there since I was like a teenager.
Yeah, it's better now when you have a kiddo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken him to the LA Zoo and he loved it. So I know he would like the San Diego one.
Yeah, we usually do Santa Barbara. It's kind of cheap, and it's like you can do like 3 laps in like an hour, you know,
Yeah.
all the way around it. But they got rid of the elephants there, and that was Emma's favorite, you know, animal there,
Oh.
the elephants.
To Santa Barbara, there's no elephants?
No elephants. I think they moved
Oh.
them to LA.
Hmm.
I heard one of them died.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's all.
If you ever can go to Oakland, the Oakland Zoo has gotten really big.
How's that?
Yeah, they made like a whole additional California like site. So it's
Uh-huh.
got like a bunch of California animals, like a pack of wolves, I guess, and or whatever. I don't know.
That's
Big animals that you,
Yeah.
and they have like wide open spaces. It's crazy. So it's hard to see some of the animals because they have such big and like enclosures, but it's
Uh-huh.
better for them.
Cool.
Buffalo.
Leslie, anything exciting this last week? Miss getting married soon?
I took engagement pictures. I
Yeah.
think it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before, and finally got them back today. Or last night. So
Yeah,
Nice.
Great.
yeah, super exciting.
when you get married? What's the date?
May 1st
Oh my goodness.
coming up.
Yep.
It's down to the wire with everything. So it's just been crazy to plan and it doesn't stop at planning, of course. It's only the beginning because then you have all the vendors and stuff that you have to bring in. So it's been good. I think we're down to just a couple things left to really plan and then it's all set and done. I want to get everything set like 3 weeks before and not think about it very much.
And then start door dropping, right?
Yes.
That's
It's work.
She's at
right.
the altar, her phone rings. Hold on a second, babe.
Yeah.
Could be money.
Yeah, totally.
Yep, that's cool. All right, well, let's jump into this. Do you guys have the questions in front, or do you need me to pull them up? I can pull them up.
I have them.
I could figure it out.
Yeah, let me
I
see.
could figure it out.
Yeah, I just sent the email, but it's on here, so let's just go from here. Okay, any questions you guys want to pick? You guys go ahead and first come, first serve, whatever you grab, you got dibs on. So first one's, what is the most helpful idea from this chapter for you? Second one's, what's the opposite of decision? Third is, are you someone who reaches decisions quickly and then changes your mind slowly? How does that impact your life? Four is, how influenced by the opinions of others are you? And fifth is, Napoleon Hill writes, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. How can you apply this to your life in pursuit of your goals?
I'll do
I'll do
number
the first
5.
one.
I'll do 4.
Okay, so Anthony's got 1. I heard 4 was Amy, and then who else?
5 for me.
5 for Leslie.
I'll do 3. You can do 2, Brandon.
Okay, that's cool. What, procrastination? What? So I think I'm done already, right? It's procrastination. All right. So number 3, are you someone who reaches decisions quickly and then changes your mind slowly? That'll be Yvette. Okay, cool. All right, Anthony, let's start us off, bud.
Cool. So yeah, it was a short chapter, and the fact that it's just labeled persistence, it was pretty straightforward. It just kind of, even though, I've been doing sales for years now, it kind of helped to read this chapter because it kind of put things in perspective and helped me just, analyze my current situation and, really figure out if I'm doing enough, because there's an old saying that, persistence outweighs resistance. You got to just keep on, keeping on, I guess, like Joe Dirt would say. But yeah, no, it was just like one thing I'm doing on the side is like Amazon FBA, but I don't really put too much time into it. It was just something I kind of wanted to do on the side. So, I mean, after reading this chapter, I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't really done anything with that. I got to be a little bit more persistent, just spend like, 30 minutes a day and, just do something for that, or just, I got to also renew my real estate license. So I got on and I'm like, okay, I got to be persistent. I got to take the step and like get signed up to do that. So I don't know. That's kind of just what I took from it, is just like get off my ass and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you just remind yourself that every day, like, am I being persistent enough to reaching my goals, then it'll help you get to your goals. It's just that simple, because sometimes we overlook it. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, that was good, man. It's they talk about just decisiveness, and I'll jump into it. It's what's the opposite of decision is indecision, or procrastination, taking your time. So, I know I like coming up with ideas. I like being creative and doing it, and then taking action sometimes can seem like moving a train that's completely stopped, and pushing it. I think the more decisive you are, and the quicker you can. Once I read this chapter for the first time, it really just resonated with me, something that I knew if I wanted to grow as a leader and to grow as a person and just be more successful, that I had to be better at making decisions and just committing to those. And another big part of this chapter to me is like where they talk about opinions, and everybody has opinions. I just listened to it / read it right before this meeting. So, but they talk about everybody has a flock of opinions. And you have to be good at knowing like what to listen to and what not to listen to. You can't be easily influenced by others. And it's not about being stubborn or closed-minded. It's just knowing what it is that you want. And if you notice that it's easy for you to change back and forth, it's hard to be successful, or hard to ever commit to something and then see it all the way through, and be successful with it. So, yeah, just wanted to share those things. But, touching back on what you said, Anthony, I think, when you talk about like the do's and things like that, you just got to make the decision to do it. You just have to commit to it, start taking action. And if any of us do anything from today or from this chapter, it's just think of something that you've been waiting on, that you've wanted to do, and just be decisive and do it. Don't let any other thing hold you back from doing it, and just go after that. And if you can come up with one thing and do it, that's great. If you come up with 3 things and just knock those things out, it's awesome. That is one of my things that I appreciate most about Yvette, is when I'm with her, she is my accountability partner, and she makes it that I make decisions every time. It's just like, all right, what are we going to do? What are we going to accomplish? And it's like, I feel like I'm letting her down if I'm not decisive and taking action. And I think we all need to do that for each other in some capacity. But, you know, I'm afraid of Yvette, so I don't want to let her down. So maybe the fear factor could work. You got to figure out what works for you. And
I'm
just
a big softie.
yeah, right.
I just look tough. Don't let the tattoos fool you.
No, yeah, I'm afraid. So so no, just figuring out something that's going to help you be more decisive. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's always out of fear. For me, I don't want to let people down. Even this group, I don't want to let this group down. So if that's enough, if that guilt's enough for me to make decisions, then I'm grateful for it. So thank you all for making me feel guilty for being here today.
Absolutely. Man.
All right. So number 3, we got Yvette. Are you someone who reaches decisions quickly and then changes your mind slowly? How does that impact your life?
I feel like I've always reached decisions quickly. I'm very impulsive. So if it's like something comes into my head, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dye my hair pink today. It's happening. Like I commit very easily. I got married on a whim, so don't mind me. I can commit to things.
Right.
And I do feel like I changed my mind pretty slowly. I mean, like there's certain decisions that took me a longer time, like deciding if I was going to take a job as a company TC. That took me longer to debate. I had to weigh out the pros and cons. And even leaving was like, I had to sit there and think, okay, is this going to be what's best for my family? And so that took time to weigh out. But I do feel like I personally am good at making a decision. Like if it's like someone has to throw something out there, I don't question. I'm like, all right, I got to pick one. I'm picking one, you know? And I trust my gut. I always have. I've always just trusted my instincts with life in general. So regardless if they're right or wrong decisions, I've always learned a lot from them. So I look at life as a big learning experience. Everything you do, you learn from. So you have a bad job, you learn from it. You know, you get married on a whim, you learn from it. And you get bad tattoos, you cover them. So, you know, like I don't think anything is really that permanent. There are permanent decisions, obviously, but I think everything can be a learning lesson and a growing lesson. So I try not to question my decisions for that reason, because I know I'm picking it for a reason. It's either a blessing or a lesson.
There you go. I like it. Blessing or lesson. No, it's I agree with you. I do feel that you are not just impulsive, but you make decisions, you know, and you commit to those decisions, and you know what it is you want. And I think that's a lot of it. And first, you have to know what you want. Once you know what you want, and then you're faced with a question or a situation, it's easier to make your decision, but you got to understand what it is that you want first. And I feel that you know what you want. You know that you're a hard worker. You know that you're going to commit to certain things, even if it's an uncomfortable situation like making a phone call that is kind of outside your comfort zone. But you're decisive to it. And I can also tell when it's like you get green, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to do this right now. And I can see it, but you'll still do it and you'll still just go for it. So I think that's huge. And I think that's a big part of why you're going to continue to have a large impact on a lot of people in a positive way. If there's any area that you think you can get better at in terms of being more decisive, what would you say it is?
I mean, I think that's a tough one. That's why I'm in therapy. Okay, Brandon, leave it alone. No, I have a hard time with like my boundaries and my stuff. So it's like I'm a very big people pleaser. So I am willing to do more for everyone else. And I'm not willing to say no when it doesn't, when I need to for me. Like I have I feel guilty saying no to others and putting myself first. So making decisions that protect my well-being is very hard for me. And then I sit there and beat myself up if I do say no, or if I don't answer a phone call, or, like I sit there and tell myself I should be better, more available for others. So that's part of the decisions that I need to get better at, is to like focus on knowing it's still okay to take moments for myself.
Absolutely. And how do you think, I'm going to keep pushing it just a little bit harder. How do you think, what steps can you take to ensure that you are more protective of your time, and, you can still be thoughtful of other people, but what can you do to ensure that that happens and that you're more decisive with
Well,
that?
that would be communicating, and I don't like that. I'm not big on confrontation. So it's like if I feel like I have to say something that will be a point of contention, I don't say it. And it's working on finding like a way to like communicate with others. Like, hey, unfortunately, I'm unavailable right now, but
Right.
Call me at 9 a.m. and we can talk again. 8 o'clock at night is not the time to call me.
Right. Some of that also is just having, when you have more certainty in terms of your economic situation, right? Like, you have more opportunities. So I think of us with real estate. When I don't have escrows, or I don't have enough opportunities ahead of me, then I seem more desperate, or I seem more concerned or worried about the outcome of one situation. So I know for real estate, if you create more opportunities, then if something falls through, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
That's how you can stay true to your principles. And there's one thing, just going to share it with you. It just came to me, and it was it's on Think and Grow Rich, the Legacy. There's a movie that's based on this book, and they put it together. And there's do you remember watching it, Yvette? Did you get to see it? Where
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, there's an African American guy on there, and I'll just tell the story real quick because it's a powerful story. Hopefully I do it justice. But he's in the scene, and he starts off and he's going to work. He's the first one in, the last one out. And he's in there, before the kids are awake, before the family's awake. He's got kids, he's got his wife, and he gets to work. He's in there early in the morning. As he's trying to leave, the security guy is knocking on the window saying, "Hey, you got to go. It's already too late." And he's been doing this for, let's just say, 10 months straight. The guy is one of the lowest performers out of, I don't know, let's just say 10,000 employees. He's probably like 9,500. Yet he's in there from the very beginning, first thing in the morning, to the last one to leave every single day. And security guy's hitting him, and he's pissed at this point because he realized 10 months of working his tail off and nothing to show for. And he slams the filing cabinet. And as he slams it, as he's waiting for a final, he's saying, couple more minutes, it hits him. And he realizes, like, what am I doing? Why am I killing myself here and going in and doing this and not seeing the results? And what he realized was he wasn't being true to himself. So he started laying these fundamental principles and these things that he would not break these promises. And one was to his kids. He was going to see his kids in the morning before he went into work. He was going to drive them to school. He was going to have dinner with them and be home by dinner. So he cut down the amount of hours that he was working. He cut it almost in half.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he was happier. He was being a better father. He was being a better husband. He was being better, just a better friend, richer in every aspect of his life, because he stayed true to these principles that were driving him nuts, that he didn't realize that he was neglecting. And now it was like, I'm not going to go to meet somebody at their office or travel to go see them. They're going to come to the office to see me. And that will help me with my time so I can be more efficient. So once he stuck to these fundamental principles, if you come up with a list, you have to say, this is what I'm going to commit to. This is what I'm going to do. This is what Tony Robbins helped me do. It's one of the reasons why I'm where I'm at right now, where I am, why I'm sometimes feeling unemployed. It's just like, I don't have an office that I have to be at dressed up ready to go, but I have to have the discipline to make sure I'm making the calls and doing the things I need to do, right?
Right.
I have to have the vets and everybody who's on this team in my world to hold me accountable, to make sure that I set certain things in my schedule and stay true and committed to it. Because otherwise I do feel guilty. And maybe it's sometimes for letting people down, but more importantly, I know it's what's good for me and contributing. And it's also, I know what's good for me in terms of being the father and the husband, you know, that I need to be for my family. So what happened with this guy is the second he did it and he cut his hours in half, he went from being ranked towards the end to being the top performer in the entire company. And he cut his hours in half. He worked almost half to a third of what he was working before, and everything got in alignment. And when I saw that,
Now I know why you go on so many vacations.
exactly. When I saw that happen, it was huge for me in understanding,
Yeah.
you know, your kids and your family aren't going to remember how many houses you sold. Actually, surprisingly, they remember how many I sold last year. And I have to keep correcting them. Emma's like, you did 19 last year, right? I'm like, no, it was 21, right? I counted a couple of slides.
Get
But
it right.
Right. But she's like, Dad, you're good at that though. I'm like, nah, it's, you know, we had a good lucky year. We worked hard and it was awesome to see that. And I said, you know what we want to do this year? And I told her, I said 38 and a half. And she's just like, wow, that's a lot. I'm coaching, I'm doing all these things. I'm not doing the activities right now to be in alignment with that. But what I do know is I put in enough work in the past. I still continue to put in enough work now. And I know that God's going to take care of me because I'm doing the right things for other people. I'm helping out these other kids and I'm helping build their self-confidence out there on the softball field. And I'm seeing all the negativity around us. And I use Think and Grow Rich all the time to not only do I understand what is right and what is wrong, but how to influence other coaches and leaders to be their best and to do it in a tactful way and to confront like Yvette doesn't like to do, right? But to do it in a way that doesn't draw the defense and helps them see you have to know what they want. So once I know that a dad can't get through to his daughter and he's one of the main coaches and his daughter's freaking out when she's going up there and she has the skill and the talent and everything else, once I see that and I know what his root is and that his father-in-law is chirping in his ears and everything else is happening, now I know the way I can influence him because he wants what's best for his daughter, just like most of the dads or parents on the team want that. And once I can connect with him there, now Yvette, now I know how to confront him. And now I know how to influence him, which is starting to work. But man, this guy is, you know, not to pick in any particular person, failing everything that we read on here. Indecisive. I ask him, what do we want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do?
You're the coach. Figure it out.
Exactly. Well, he's the head. I'm the assistant coach, you know, and this obviously we're keeping this video private, right?
Yeah.
No, it's amazing when you see it and you understand this and you see why some people get what they want and can influence other people and other people will struggle and it gets catty and it gets negative or it's judgment and it's all these things. So I know I spent a lot talking about this, but I wanted to contribute and share and we're flying through this. We still got 30 minutes. We only got 2 questions left. So anything anybody like to add just from what I shared? Y'all just want me to shut up? I'll shut up.
I liked it though. I was
No, it's
appreciative.
good.
Does it resonate with anybody, anything that I said? Has anybody experienced anything that, you know, in terms of indecision or, you know, negative limiting beliefs, you know, or experiencing it?
So I actually have something. The only thing is I have the gardeners in the background, so bear with me. I think it's great to make decisions quick, but educated ones. And I feel like sometimes it depends on what subject it is, right? That we're making the decision. But it's I don't know. That's how I think. Not necessarily it's how it has to be, obviously. But yeah, I think with more information, it's easier to make quicker decisions. But it's also not good to take forever on decisions, and it's not good to do them extremely quickly without really thinking them through. So I don't know. It's kind of like in between.
Yeah, no, it's good. I know, Amy, you raised your hand. Do you want to share something, Amy?
Well, I just, from my experience growing up, I was horrible at making decisions, and I kind of still am. I always would look for validation from people, and that's why, like, I guess going into my question number 4 with, I have been influenced by opinions of others, you know, just looking for that validation. And but recently I just realized, like, who am I asking for help, you know, and getting opinions from? I mean, are these people, you know, where are they at in their life? Are they, you know, depressed and miserable, and, you know, people that hate, like, for an example, like relationship advice, you know, it's like, am I asking people that are single and hate dating and hate men? It's like, why am I going to listen to them?
Right.
But I used to, and I just recently, you know, I'm just realizing, okay, I need to figure out, you know, other people to ask. Like, I guess that ties into the mastermind. You know, like, I can ask you guys for your opinion about real estate and trust your opinions. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I have just recently learned. And yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. I appreciate your sincerity, and just you're always as honest as anybody I feel on in this group. You just, you know, you'll tell exactly how you feel, and I appreciate that. And that creates trust as well, so that, you know, nobody ever second guesses. I know I don't ever second guess what you share with me. I know it's always pure and just from your heart. I know there's nothing like tied to it, or you're trying to say something to try to get a certain reaction. You're just speaking from the heart. And I think that's one of the most charming qualities, you know, that you have, Amy. In terms of, you know, being influenced by others, and also,
I'm sorry, I have to get this.
all right, we'll go to the next one. If you want to mute it. All right, she's already muted. So we got the 5th one. I'm trying to remember. That was Leslie, and you already started just sharing just in terms of decisions. So I wanted to get to Amy as it was still fresh in her mind. So I didn't mean to leave what you had shared. I actually I wanted to press you a little bit, to be honest with you. So
yeah, you're like,
yeah.
you're preparing. You're like,
No, I already knew where I was going to press you, but I knew if I pressed you too quick that I wouldn't get the answer that I wanted to hear coming right after. So there was a little strategy to that. So with Leslie, with what you said before, that some decisions, you know, it depends on what it is. It depends on what the facts are. You got to sort through the facts. Amy brought up a good point about the source of information, which, you know, they say everybody has a flock of opinions, right? So, you know, how much weight do you give it, and how much do you allow that to sway what it is that you want when you know what you want? So when can you say, or let's just say, you know, you obviously made a major decision in your life that you have coming up here soon. With that decision, was that something that came to you pretty quickly? Was it something, you know, when you asked, was there hesitation? Was it, you know, let me think about it? Let me process this here or I know what, you know, what your line is. I know what your line is, Leslie. When I ask you a question, I put you on the spot. You're like, that's a really good question. let me
gotta think about it for a second.
Let me think about that. Right.
But this one I don't have to think too much, because I had all the pieces to my puzzle, and there was one left, and that was the last one left. So there's no question. It's crazy for me to even say these things, because a year ago this wouldn't have been my answer. This would have been a much different answer. But when you know what you want and you find it, it's 100% right. Like you found it. You found exactly what you were looking for. So, and you're right. There's always the chirping. There's always the opinions and things that pop up, but your life, you know, you start to realize, okay, when were the moments that I listened to those around, and how did that turn out, right? And who was it, and not being judgmental at all. Just who was it? Who, you know, what level of goodwill did they have, right, at that time? And then you put together the best formula possible to then make that educated decision. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question, but
No,
it's
it was spot on.
definitely what's going on.
It was spot on, and there's some things I want to point out, but there's also things that you shared. Sometimes good intentions, even though they have goodwill, aren't necessarily the best advice for you, because, and actually I heard this from the message that I shared with you, Yvette. That's awesome, and I'll share it with you, Leslie, when I get a chance. Trying to, what's his name again? It was the guy who plays Medea.
Oh,
Oh,
Tyler
yeah.
Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler
Yeah.
Perry.
And
Okay.
it's a good spiritual message. I'll share it with you. I'm trying to even remember, because I was trying to figure out his name, so now I lost the whole point of what I was going to share with you.
Was it about his
What's that?
decision making? Was it about his decision making?
No, the decision, I'm trying to remember what she just said, that it was just spot on with it. But basically, it was about the opinions of others. So they mean well and they're trying to help you, but they don't know what God has in plan for you. Only you will know what God has in plan for you. So even though they're telling you, and that's what his mom was telling him, you need to get out of acting, you need to get out of the plays or whatever. And he starts crying. I mean, he's bawling. She has no idea how much this means to him. And she doesn't realize it. He knew though, and he understood it. And this is his mom, who he loves, with all his heart, and somebody who cares about him. And she didn't even realize the negative impact she was having, even though she meant well. She loved him and was trying to tell him, hey, take the Verizon job, or take this, get that 9 to 5, make sure you get that paycheck. And it happens from the people that we love most. So I wanted to share that, because it is about being decisive, and it's about knowing. And the one thing without, asking you too many questions, the one thing I will point out, that when you answer that question, you need to rewatch this tape. And when you answer that question, you were a different Leslie. You were a top producing Leslie. I'm this is no bullshit. This is real talk right here. You were the Leslie that will conquer the world when you know what you want. And as much as you think you need to process things, you don't. Trust your gut. Trust yourself. Be decisive. Use words that are decisive. Use words, not I think this is it. Say I know it's it. Whether you're right or wrong, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit to this. I asked a girl, and this brought me another question. I'm getting emotional talking about it, because
Thank you, Brendan.
I care about you, and I mean it. This girl that has had a coach who is putting more negative stuff in her head, and calls her the very first thing she tells me is she's the foul ball queen. A little bit bigger girl. I can tell she can hit hard, and she pulls it left and hits a shot. She's all, see, I'm a foul ball queen. She did something great, knocks the crap out of the ball, and she's criticizing herself. Then I find out why she's doing it. Some of it comes from Pops, but more of it comes from her previous coach, who ends up being one of my assistant coaches, who tends to be negative and critical, right? And so finally I get him to admit that he's the one that put this crap in her head. Again, we hadn't even had our first game yet. This girl already thinks she's the foul ball queen. So I asked her yesterday, we do a little scrimmage, and she's about to get up to bat. And I go up to her and I just said, and I've already told her this once. I said, you're not the foul ball queen. I said, you're the home run. I actually said home run king, right? And then I realized I called her a king. I was like, you're the home run queen, right? And first time I tell her it, she wrote 3 fair balls, Jackson. And she's just feeling like on cloud 9. Then sure enough, she gets back into her doubt stage, and her Pops is in the background saying, elbow up, da, 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 giving her the instruction, the proper technique. But people don't realize the mental aspect of the game. And when you start believing whatever it is, and then sure enough, she starts underswinging it. She goes from I'm the home run queen to back to her foul ball queen, right? The reason why this story is important, I asked her the question again yesterday before she gets up. I said, and we also have the Who Are We champion. I said, so who are you? And I wanted her to say it. She's like, huh? I said, who are you? And then she's like, and she kind of knew where I was going with that. I said, remember what I said, you're the home run queen, right? I said, say it. Say I'm the home run queen. Or I said, what do you think you're gonna do? Or I said, what are you gonna do? She's like, I think I'm gonna hit a home run. Like she said it very hesitant, very non-committal. I said, no. I said, you know you're gonna hit a home run up there. I said, you need to go up there and know you're gonna hit the home run. And then right after, so it was the think to the no. That was the key thing. And that's the reason why I want to share the story with you, Leslie. It was the decisiveness of that. And then afterwards, I told her and I made her verbally say it. If you can't say it, how are you going to get up there and have the mental mindset that
Right.
you're actually going to go do and perform it? So sure enough, she gets up and the question she asked me, she's like, are you going to pitch to me? Because the other coach who's pitching is correcting her and putting stuff in her head. So I said, yes, I'm going to pitch to you. And I said, I'm going to give you a nice, fat, juicy ball right where you want it. You're going to crush it. Okay. Get up. First pitch, jacks it, knocks the crap out of the ball. Right. And it's the same thing. And she had one hit in all her games. Guess what it was?
That one.
A home run. No, before the scrimmage,
Oh,
she had a home run shot. But after that, she struck out every single time. So then when, I'm talking to her again on the mental aspect, but the reason why I want to share this story with you and with the group, there's a difference. And I can tell you, Leslie, and it's coming from a place of love and wanting the best from you. I can see when you're non-committal and when you're hesitant. And I can see when you know what you want. Know what you want. It's the final piece. Trust God, trust yourself, and be decisive. The more decisive you are this year, the better your results are going to be. The more indecisive you are, the more you start second guessing yourself, the more that you'll still do good, but you're not going to do what you're capable of doing. We all know you're capable of even more, so much more than what you're doing right now. So if you can flip anything, that's what you got to flip. Okay. That's your wedding present.
Thank you.
what's funny about that, Brandon, is though, like when you're like decisive is like like Meryl used to crack up at me because like I don't always know how to pronounce things or like what the right word is, but I'll just say it wrong. So like, and believe it though, like I will say that street name wrong and I will say it with such conviction that she's like, is that how you say it? And I'm like, oh, I have no idea, but like I'm gonna just go with it. And she's like, you say it so like you believe it, like you knew what you were talking about. Like I do that with most things. Don't worry. Like that's just who I am. Like I'm like, I will say this like it's the truth because I don't want you to know that I don't know that it's not right.
Love it. It's better. I think that's a good approach too. Just say it with confidence, and that's it.
And even when I say I don't know, I'm pretty much like, that's actually a really good question. Like I don't know that answer. I'm never like, oh shoot, crap. Like I don't know. That's a good one. Never seen it before.
No, people can tell when you truly know or when you don't know. And you never want, I always appreciate, don't confuse what I'm sharing with you, Leslie, as ever being insincere. Your sincerity is your biggest strength. And I know I've shared that with you for a long time. It's sincerity and purpose, right? That's huge. That's very important to never change that. But in terms of being decisive, when I asked you that question, and I was hoping to see that response, if you showed hesitation, be like, hey, Stephen, we gotta have a talk. I'm over here. But no, you had that right response. And I'm telling you, rewatch it. Look at your face, look at your expression, look at what you're saying. We're all happy for you. But more importantly, that's the Leslie that will dominate 2021. You already got a good start, but it could be even better and it's going to get stronger. Don't worry about business. It all is going to come to you. People are very supportive of people that they like, and just keep doing what you're doing. We're going to do more videos. We're going to do more things. We're going to be TikTokers over here, I guess, before you know it, after
Can't wait.
Here.
It's awesome.
But we're gonna kill it, and we're gonna do some really good things. So number
Thank
5
you.
here, Yvette, I know you got Napoleon Hill. You're in the last one, right?
Actually, I'm the last one.
Oh,
as
you
well.
are. Sorry.
Before we keep going, so you know what the best wedding present you can give me
What's that?
is for you to just be there.
Awesome. Well, thank
For
you.
you and Yvette to be there. So
Well, thank you. We'll be there.
I'll be there.
We'll be there.
Thank
All
you.
right. So I'll change all my listing appointments off that day.
You'll have to.
But trust in God that it's coming. So, all right. So you got number 5, Napoleon Hill writes, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. How can you apply this to your life in pursuit of your goals?
So I think with this one, it's always been just writing it down and saying it out loud. One thing again, when coming back to the Bible, it's always, God tells us he knows what we want. We don't need to tell him or ask him for it, but he does want to hear it from us. So when you do put it out there, it makes a difference versus keeping it inside. Whether you're with other people around you or not, like even if you're by yourself, you tell it to the world, and you're like, it's going to happen this way. And then of course show it, obviously. And that is in the Bible as well. Just get up out of your chair and do it. Don't just think it or say it. So it's like a combination of things. How can you apply it to your life in the pursuit of your goals is just how we do the formula, right? The self-confidence formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. You do your own formula along with it. Or you just use the same formula. I mean, that's a good one. There's a lot of good qualities within there that get your day started on the right foot. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well, I'm going to ask you all for help real quick, and it has to do with softball, not real estate. Because I obviously shared some things that you can tell you're going through some frustrations of figuring out how to impact these girls. What would you say is the most important thing for any girl that's 8 years old? And I'm just asking Anthony too, not just the women that are on this call here. You have an 8-year-old girl, and she's out there signed up for softball. What do you think it's important for her if she accomplishes one thing? I'm not talking about hitting a home run. I'm talking about just one thing from this experience. What would you say is the most important thing if you had to pick one thing? I'll start with Anthony. What would you say, bud?
With kids, it's just self-confidence. I mean, if they're not happy, they're not having fun, they're not gonna enjoy it. Like my son, when I try to get him to do new things. Like he's actually just got signed up for softball. And the way I got him interested in softball was, I took him outside. I showed him the technique of how to stand, how to hold the bat, showed him the steps to be successful to hit a ball. Cause I'm like, you don't just get up there and swing. I'm like, just follow these simple steps, start with your feet, work your way up, remind yourself. And, at first he was like, why am I doing this? But the first ball he hit it into the neighbor's yard, and we were on the opposite end of my house. And I'm like, holy moly, dude, did you just do that? And he was like super excited. He knew I was excited. I'm like, let's try it again. And, that was it. I mean, he just, found out that he really, and any kid who's good at something, they're going to enjoy it, but even if, like you were talking about that girl, like she's so, I'll just say confused, because she's kind of like, why am I out here? Why am I feeling like this? Like, it's easy for a kid, like they don't know better. I mean, this is all new to them to get just mixed of emotion. Like they could almost take it as like they're in trouble. Like, oh, I'm going to sign you up for sports. And I'm like, what? Like they're dreading it. Like, I got to go run. It's taken away from this. Like, you just got to remind them the positive things, like have fun. It's not about winning or losing. It's just about, you got to enjoy it like anything else. It's like you carry that forward when you're an adult. Like if you don't like what you're doing for work, you're going to be miserable. But if you find that you're happy and you enjoy it, like everything else will just fall into place.
That was well said. I don't want to say too much more with it because I want to hear what Leslie and Yvette's answers are. Either of you two want to share what your thoughts? If you remember the question, you got an 8-year-old girl. She signs up for softball. What would it, if you were the parent of that daughter, what would you want her to learn through that experience? And I know Yvette played softball quite a bit. I know Leslie played basketball and some sports. What do you think is most important? And let's start with Leslie, because I know Yvette's already got an answer. Leslie, I want you to be decisive. What speak from the heart. What do you think is most important for her?
So I think, first of all, I think Anthony hit the nail on the head. Excitement. You know, kids are they're easily kind of distracted as well. But if you can get that feeling of happiness in them when they do something right, or when they're just trying, I think that's super important, as well as encouragement. I think what you're doing, Brendan, is like gold, because that little girl is going to remember that coach, which is you, that that helped them get through it, you know, that was able to hit the ball. And anyways, just keep them from this wasn't supposed to happen.
You're getting me emotional.
I am getting emotional.
I was trying not to show as you're talking.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Ah.
We're talking softball here, okay?
Yeah, softball. Back to softball. So
Baseball.
keep them from giving up, you know, just keep them going. And because they're gonna do that to their friends, like they're gonna help their friends and their kids in the future. So negativity can go their whole life if that's all they hear. But if they keep hearing positivity and encouragement, that's what they're gonna pass on. So I think you're not only helping that child, but you're helping others in their lives. So I think it's great.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thanks. All righty, Vet. That's a tough one. You got two tough ones to top right there. Now bring it home.
You're
Let's
like,
speak from the heart.
I mean, that is really the correct answer, is to have fun and the self-confidence. I mean, I try to think back of what I was taught, because I not to toot my own horn, but like I was naturally gifted at soccer and softball. If I wasn't good at a sport, I didn't do it. Like I was just like, oh, I'm not that good at basketball, I'm never gonna try that. So thanks. Like, let's stay in my lanes. But and I didn't learn it till later. And I'm glad I had someone teach it. But for children who are naturally more gifted at something, they don't realize what their attitude, how it affects others if they aren't as good. And when I went into practices lazy or tired because I didn't really feel like practicing that day, and I didn't have to because I knew I could turn it up when I needed to, I affected the team morale. So having a coach who sat me down and showed me that I was a leader and that my behaviors and actions influenced our team's well-being really made a huge impact on me in life, because I realized I had to show up every practice and turn out. Otherwise, the other girls thought, well, why are we trying hard if Yvette's not trying hard? And realizing that regardless of choosing to be a leader or someone that others are looking up to, you are. So you have to always do your best, even if you're already good at that, because other people are using it as their inspiration. And that was huge, learning that in soccer and softball. And, you know, I got on a softball team that was the worst. The kids, it was like 13-year-olds that never played. And I'm like, what the hell? You've never played softball? Why'd you sign up this year, you dummies? You know, and I was pissed that I'm on this team that's going to be a losing team, and we made it to the playoffs. But it wasn't until that coach sat me down and, you know, told me to get my attitude in check and stay positive for the other people, so that they could find the self-confidence in themselves to be good and not compare. You know, like if you're out there lifting up others that are struggling a little bit, they're gonna rise up to the occasion. And that was huge. So
That was an awesome perspective. Thank you for sharing that. And I had no idea that question was gonna resonate the way that it did, but that was awesome. Just what everybody shared. That was my favorite part of this entire session. And you don't understand how much that helps me. And that's one of the concepts I hope, if you pull it from this book, if you have a challenge, if you have a question, if you got a situation you're trying to figure out, and your focus is truly on helping somebody else with their problem or their issue, that's when you get the answer. And you guys
Mastermind.
you helped me get that answer. So thank you all. Not just for just being who you are, but your contribution, your sincerity, just being here, being a part of this group. You guys make this really special, make it fun. And I hope you're all pulling from this, even if it's just one small little thing, something that's impactful for your life. Because it's, we go one crack at it. And I could tell, Leslie, as you were getting me choked up, and I could tell you're getting a little emotional about it. What we may think is something pretty small like softball, or pretty small like just a simple moment, you don't realize the long lasting effects of what it has on that person, but the impact that they have on other people. And they can go many different routes, and if you just want to keep it a good route or a bad route, more negative or poison. There's a book called The Four Agreements. If you guys haven't read it, that's a good one to read. And it talks about poison and words, how poison keeps getting passed, and how we have to break that, and not spread that poison, which is negativity. And it's all the destructive words and things that are out there that it's just very easy to do under anger, emotion, and other things. So, that's the one thing that I appreciate about the softball and the baseball coaching, is just how much it shows me. As much as I think I've figured a lot of things out, I got such a long ways to go. Huge long ways to go. And I still fail under the heat of the moment and say something stupid or do something dumb. And I just try to do more good than those negative spots. And then when I do make those mistakes, try to figure out how to learn from them and how to have that better impact. But if I had to sum up what everybody said, I got self-confidence, I got having fun, making sure they're having a good time out there. I got leadership influence, especially if you're one of the star players, and realizing that a negative attitude has a bigger impact on the team and the morale than what you realize. It's not just your talent and your performance, but it's your attitude and carrying that through life. And I believe that's why every person on here is successful and going to continue to be extremely successful. We're going to do some awesome things together. So did I sum it up? Anything I missed on what was shared?
Sounds about right.
Was on it? Cool. Well, this is probably one of my favorite sessions we've had this year. So I'm going to start off next week just with softball. We're just going to talk softball the rest of this. But no, that was cool. Anything else good anybody wants to share, or that they pulled from this chapter of the book, or just are you seeing anything happen positive, hopefully, in your life from this?
I mean, did you want to go, Anthony? You had something?
No, I was just, when I was listening to Brandon, I just could tell that even softball, he's applying all the principles because he has that passion, the desire, and the big thing is the emotion, because like not too many people I think would get that tearful about something like softball, but the fact that you're taking these steps of success and applying them to kids, and that's what obviously is making you a better coach than, from the sounds of it, the rest of your staff by a lot. But yeah, it just with kids, I mean, we were all kids one time, and when you guys were all talking about your experiences, I look back and it's just kind of like sports. There's something that sports is very like different from other things that relate to your life. I mean, that's where I got my I don't quit personality. Like when I decided to play football, like in high school, I had never played football before, but I knew it was something I wanted to do. And I was the smallest, scrawniest kid. I never played Packers or anything like that.
Mhm.
And my coach thought it was a good idea to like always put me up against the biggest guy, like at the end of practice. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like this guy's 8 times my size. Like I could only go under his legs if I want to get around him. But it was that continuous going up against something that seemed like impossible that just instilled something great in me, because even when I played soccer, like I just wouldn't quit. I would always be running. Like I would score a lot of goals when like the ball is gonna like go off the field, somebody just kicks it and they're just gonna let it roll out, and I'm just sprinting, waiting to just like catch it, and I'm alone because nobody sprinted to save the ball, and then I just like would score. And it's just something that like in my life I have instilled in me. It's just like that mentality, like it's not over till it's over. Just go at it 100% of the time and everything you're doing, And, I do look back at some of the things I learned from certain coaches, which the biggest thing is just believing in you, because I would just, if I had a coach that didn't believe in me, even if I was good or sucked, I'm just like, well, I don't feel that they deserve my best. I'm not going to give it my all because that person doesn't believe in me. They don't know what I'm capable of. Whereas if I had a coach that just gave me a chance and would put me in, they're like, I believe there's something special in you. Even without knowing me, I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, I appreciate the chance. I'm going to give you everything I have, and it's just something that, like I said, it carries with you for the rest of your life. So like what you're doing, you're like, yeah, it's huge, because you don't know the trickle effect it's going to have until years later. Real estate, it's like a 90-day process. Coaching, it's like a 10-year process. You're going to get people coming back to you saying thank you, like whether they're successful at sports or they just take what you showed them, and apply it to their life. So
Cool. Thank you, man. Yeah, and you hit belief too, and believing in others, which is, I mean, every single thing that we talked about is all in the self-confidence formula. That's why we say it, and that's why we do it, and that's why we're trying to program ourselves. But I think self-confidence is the most important thing over everything else, and it's through the belief. But no, I appreciate you sharing it, and I never meant it to sound like I got it figured out and the other coaches don't. The biggest thing that I'm learning when I'm put in these situations, because it's frustrating, and part of me is like, this person doesn't deserve what I'm bringing to the table or what I'm trying to do or trying to help them. And it's a lot of confronting. But the way I look at it now, and this was actually when I was taught in management, at the previous company, and I had some challenging agents, just a couple, right? And when I would talk to other managers in Utah, one guy in particular, he was like, look, God put that person in your life to stretch you. God put that person, it's never by chance. There's a reason why certain people are in your lives. And when you understand it that way, that it's not random, it's very easy to be like, you know what, ain't worth my time, not worth my energy. But it's harder, even though you may want to say, let's just quit, let's be done with it. It's harder to try to really look at, okay, what's God trying to show me right now? What is it that I'm supposed to figure out? Where do I need to get better? Where do I need to grow? And I think if we can all have that perspective, I'm trying to do it. I think that's my job with these other leaders, whether they're strong in leaders or not. It's to help them become the best leaders and have the biggest impact. Because there's only so much we can each do individually, but we can have a bigger impact on the other leaders and help them be their best and help them hopefully show them some things, because they're going to carry on that poison or not, you know. So that's the big lesson I'm learning. So apologize for spending so much time on this, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. Anything else anybody else would like to share before we wrap it up? It's good. Ready to have a great week. Thanks for getting me crying on here, Leslie.
box of tissue next time.
I can say the same thing though, because you made me cry. So
I didn't. You
I-
talking
no,
out.
I cried, but the subject made me cry.
I'm just trying to hide it, and it starts coming. I'm like, geez, it's the big softie. So
Awesome.
Right.
But yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for everything. This weekend's just gonna be awesome and successful. That's all I can
All
say.
right. Well, you guys have a good one, and we'll be back on it on Tuesday. Any other things that I'm forgetting? We good? Still working out? What are you saying, Yvette?
So we're good.
All right, guys. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you all again.
Toodles.
Good
Bye,
weekend, guys.
toodles.
All right. Bye-bye.